I tested the monk method of saving money for 90 days, now I'll never budget the old way again. Budgeting has always felt like a necessary evil to me, endless spreadsheets, tracking every penny, and usually feeling guilty when I inevitably overspend on yet another takeaway coffee. I was tired of feeling like my financial health depended on constant vigilance. So, when I stumbled upon something intriguingly called the monk method of saving money, I was instantly curious. This method promised simplicity, mindfulness, and a surprisingly stress-free way of managing finances. Naturally, I had to put it to the test. For 90 days, I embraced this minimalist budgeting practice inspired by monastic principles, and I have to admit, I'm never going back. Here's what I discovered. What exactly is the monk method? At its core, the monk method isn't about deprivation, it's about intentional spending. Inspired by the minimalist and mindful lifestyles of monks, this approach simplifies your financial life down to essentials. Rather than meticulously tracking every purchase, the method encourages a shift in perspective. You begin by clearly defining your true priorities and values. Then, every financial decision is guided by a simple question: does this align with what genuinely matters to me? Sounds simple enough, right? Yet, I quickly learned this simplicity is exactly why it works so effectively. Why mindful budgeting changed my outlook. Initially, the idea of spending based purely on values seemed vague and a bit abstract. How could something as subjective as personal values practically guide daily spending? However, within the first week, I was already experiencing a significant shift in how I interacted with money. I began asking myself thoughtful questions every time I reached for my wallet. Will this purchase genuinely enhance my life or the lives of those I care about? This simple filter drastically reduced impulse buying. The latest fashion trends or an extra subscription suddenly didn't hold the same appeal. I quickly realized how much of my previous spending was driven by habit or fleeting desires rather than genuine satisfaction. My spending became mindful rather than reactive. Less tracking, more freedom. The best part of this method was ditching the detailed expense tracking. As someone who tends to overanalyze everything, budgeting used to mean hours spent staring at spreadsheets and feeling anxious about every minor purchase. But with the monk method, I found a liberating freedom. Instead of meticulously logging every transaction, I performed a weekly financial reflection. I looked back over my purchases, considered their alignment with my priorities, and adjusted accordingly. This weekly check-in felt less tedious and more purposeful than daily penny counting. Interestingly, a survey by Bankrate supports this approach, revealing that regular, mindful financial reviews rather than daily monitoring can significantly reduce stress around money management. Rediscovering simple pleasures. Without constantly worrying about every minor expense, I began appreciating smaller moments and simpler pleasures. Cooking at home became not just a money-saving exercise, but genuinely enjoyable. Walks in the park replaced costly brunches, offering the same satisfaction but without the anxiety of overspending. Surprisingly, my quality of life improved significantly even though my spending had dropped substantially. It was a powerful reminder that more isn't always better. How much did I actually save? After 90 days, I sat down to look at my bank balance with some apprehension. Had mindful budgeting genuinely translated into tangible savings? To my pleasant surprise, I'd managed to save 30% more than my typical budgeting months. Without impulse purchases, unnecessary subscriptions, and spontaneous nights out that didn't truly align with my values, my savings grew effortlessly. Moreover, research confirms that value-driven spending not only saves money but also increases overall happiness and satisfaction. My friends noticed the change. About 2 months into my experiment, a close friend asked if I'd gotten a raise because I seemed less stressed and more content. When I explained my new budgeting strategy, she was intrigued. It wasn't just about saving money, it was clear the monk method was positively impacting other areas of my life too. The ripple effect of mindful spending had extended beyond finances, subtly transforming my general outlook on life. Can anyone try the monk method? Absolutely. One of the method's greatest strengths is its universal applicability. Whether you're naturally frugal or a habitual spender, the monk method meets you wherever you are in your financial journey. The key lies in honest reflection about your personal values and genuine needs. Ask yourself what truly enriches your life. Once you have that clarity, aligning your financial decisions becomes second nature. Final thoughts. My 90-day trial with the monk method was supposed to be a temporary experiment. Instead, it's transformed into my permanent approach to managing money. I've traded stress and spreadsheets for simplicity and clarity. I feel genuinely empowered to spend, save, and enjoy money in a way that resonates with my deeper values. It's not often a budgeting strategy changes your entire perspective on life, but that's exactly what the monk method did for me. If you're tired of traditional budgeting and craving a simpler, more mindful way to manage your finances, give it a try. You might find yourself never budgeting the old way again either.